Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Things are intense.
Yep, it is Pixel Partners here, and we are back with Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. When we left off, we're still trying to get this fucking cowboy to talk.
Your voice
we're
is
gonna
just
get him to
stuck.
talk about the SL9 incident.
Yes.
All right, so
Because that's his whole motive for doing all this random stuff.
yeah, we already pressed him on that. So takes his ID card and dressing on a plane to take out the evidence. I don't think I pressed him on this.
I don't think so either.
Why'd you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
Of all people.
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost
That's
item
what I was
report.
saying.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor office parking lot.
So he just left it there?
The ID card was...
Huh.
The ID card I found there was left there by Officer Marshall.
That's weird.
That's a very weird fact right there.
That's very weird. Why would he just leave it in the parking lot like that?
That he was killed at.
Yeah.
Or that his body was found at, I should say. That's real fishy right there. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints.
Nope.
Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't be able to open that locker yourself. But he could because the rubber glove just happened to be stuck in the door.
Yeah.
That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. Knocked him out. Did I already press that one? I don't know.
I don't... Yeah, you
yes,
did.
I did. And tried to drive him off. Yeah, that's right. Dabba 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 yabba dabba doo.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, turn out that way. I mean, knocking him out of the thing. By the way, I have a knife. This one. Oh, yeah. Don't know a second. All right. And then managed to escape.
There we go.
Hold it. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared
Like, this is all
don't live long, partner.
premeditated.
Yeah. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bladed your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up.
Yeah.
I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day...
There wasn't any murder in the evidence room 515. Press it!
Press everything.
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
Yeah.
What are you, blind? The victim shown in that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
Yet.
So, you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence.
Was it Goodman?
Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense.
No.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences.
Just like what's her name?
Yeah, it can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Then again, she's not, you know...
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
No.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why?
Press it.
Why, dog? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's why I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident?
Yeah.
Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling it would wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case.
Yeah.
Better take another look at the files. I'm going to assume that...
The last name Marshall on that thing? Yeah.
Because it was one of the victims had a last name of Marshall.
Yeah,
And that's why he'd be real pissed off at this.
That's all I can think of.
Oh, I guess we didn't get that one right.
When's the last time you saved?
Before we did this whole thing.
Evan.
I was confident. I thought this is what we had to present.
Oh. This means I have to look it up.
Yep, go ahead and look it up again.
Christ. You always forget to save right before you do something.
Sorry, I was trusting in the walkthrough that we looked at. Need some Mountain Dew.
Which did you present it to?
I thought I presented it to the SL9 incident. You know why? But it might have looped around.
Yeah, because that's what you were supposed to do.
So I think it might have looped around by accident after the thing. Sorry. All right. Let me save. Let me save.
Yeah, save after we've already been punished.
It's fine. Just doing it before I fuck up again.
You've set it in stone now.
All right.
But we know this is. See?
There we go. I thought that's why I presented it the first time.
Now there's no going back.
It's fine. It's fine. We've got this. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
What does that even mean?
I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name Marshall's mentioned in here.
Oh.
And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago,
Oh, it's gotta be a brother.
he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
Oh.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother.
I had a feeling, yeah.
He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer.
Oh, God.
Jesus, that's a fucking murder right there.
Yeah.
Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed.
He has the same eyes as Gant does.
Yeah, that was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records.
What do you mean? How many times am I going to say this?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what's on the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Huh?
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, surrendered him unconscious, and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
Yeah.
Chance? It's gotta be more than just that.
Yeah, there's no way.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Yeah.
It's like you keep forgetting, Phoenix, that you're trying to defend this woman and you keep failing miserably every single time. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But
I don't think Phoenix thinks that far ahead.
apparently not. There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
And he just solved that mystery.
Seems to me, this boy's got a draw on you, partner. All the mysteries of the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is
Maybe
Lana
that's
Skye.
why he was helping us earlier. We were digging our own grave.
And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Objection. That's our response.
I rest my case. It's like, shit!
Yeah.
Fuck!
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
Dang it.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. But we have the fucking pot! The pot! We need the pot!
At least we saved Meekins.
I guess.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
No! Stop! Stop it! Hey!
Your Honor, wait.
Emma!
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
Right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? In a sense.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time.
Fuck. Here we go.
Please hear me out.
She's not gonna stop, Your Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Oh, wow. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue.
Did she examine it while we were gone?
So I ran over there and looked at it again.
How did you get it when I have the ID card, woman? So did you find something?
No.
Fucking, huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Then what are you here for? Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional.
Yes.
If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. no pressure.
Yeah.
With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
Just gonna do that quick. Because I believe so. It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark.
Well, of course we are.
Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If I've ever needed to concentrate, it's now.
Whew.
What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I mean, I assume I'd have to object.
Probably. Do you want me to double check?
Yeah, go ahead, because
Yeah.
sometimes there's times where I'd be like, there's no problem,
Yeah.
that's the way it's supposed to be.
object.
I object. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
He's like, what are you on about?
The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Wait.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
Fucking
The
homeboy.
fucking blue badger was
The
there.
one that's just been staring us in the face on the tapes every single time.
Finally had a chance to present him.
Yes.
What about that piece of plywood? The blue badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. It's a nice rhyme. You should be a rapper. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is
Yeah.
not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime.
Yeah. Like right in front.
Well,
What?
ugh.
Edgeworth sees.
That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible
Yeah.
to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. Wait a minute. No.
What?
Hang on, give me a second. What?
You're catching on to something that I'm not. What is
It's
it?
a random fact that I have.
So that means, that's exactly what does that mean?
Now it could be grasping based on Marshall's reaction. It could be grasping, but we were talking about the fact where since it was Marshall that was in there at that later time,
Yeah.
and we were saying that Goodman was killed beforehand.
Yeah.
Where is it at? Where's the fucking paper at? Oh my god, there's so many goddamn things
You went
in
over
here.
it like twice. It's right there.
This. What if it was Meekins?
What?
Because who put the blue badger in the room?
He did.
Exactly. He put the blue badger in front of the bloody handprint.
Oh.
What if fucking Meekins killed Goodman?
And that all this was like an act?
Yeah. I know I'm spitballing because Marshall had a weird reaction there for a second. So let's see what Marshall has to say. But if he doesn't have the explanation, we need to look at fucking Meekins.
Should I look it up?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna figure this out on our own.
Save.
I mean, we already did a thing.
Well,
but okay.
still, it'll help me
Alright.
feel better.
All right. So did you do that?
Yeah.
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma.
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right?
Oh, fuck.
After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in?
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor,
That's a Pokemon.
but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera.
Yeah, that.
Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time,
Was before Officer Meekins came
'cause
in.
that's always in the way.
Yeah.
Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. Oh boy. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim, but I have a pot that can prove it.
Yep.
The murder portrayed
I
in the
love this
security tape
music
has
so
been
much.
proven to be fake.
It's so epic.
However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Oh, back and
Here we
forth.
go.
Here we go.
So then, assuming this murder you report really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur?
The time thingies.
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark in the locker proves this.
Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
I'm gonna go ahead and... Whoa. Almost made another save file way down the bottom. All right.
Proof
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
When the first crime took place? So, I mean,
It has to be the time thingies.
Is it the card or is it the autopsy report? If
It has to be the ID, the ID things.
Are you sure? We don't have much
I'll
stuff
check.
left. Let's go ahead and check quick.
ID card record. Boom, I was right.
Boom. The crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it.
Yeah.
In order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card. Oh, the ID card record.
This is gonna look real bad since Edgeworth's on there.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here, 4:50 p.m.
If the crime took place before
if
that
the
time...
crime took place before that
Oh,
time, then
sorry.
it would be 4:40 p.m.
yeah, that's right, because it takes about a half an hour to get to the other place.
Oh God, Edgeworth, please don't be involved in this shit, please.
Oops. The biggest question, though, is who the 77777
I know,
is.
but
Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
it's obviously that first person.
Yeah. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first
And
crime
that
was
would
wiped
take
away
time.
by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder, or I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
Oh, thank God.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Thank God.
Let's look at that chart again.
The last thing I wanted is to make it look
Yeah.
bad for him.
There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. Talk about a lucky number. I already
Jackpot.
made that joke like 4 parts ago.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible
Yeah.
explanation. He went in with 77777.
Yeah,
I hate saying that so much.
whoever that was.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
He's just randomly saying that shit. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
It'll take
What?
time
Explain yourself, son.
for some reason.
The ID number 777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher.
Oh,
Someone who's a so-called executive officer.
it might be Gant after all.
We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Find
But that's
the authority.
ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries.
What?
That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
What are you talking about? Mr. Chip on your shoulder?
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to
I know,
yourself.
for real. Leave him alone.
Slander,
God.
is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing. About that incident.
The SL9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief
Answer
Prosecutor.
me this.
Fuck. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
What the? Get off of him! Christ.
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Huh?
Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. Before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
That looks bad. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to do in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Everyone's just like, oh, shit. He's like, oh, fuck. See? That's what I'm talking about.
Lana!
No. No! Oh, shit.
Order,
Everyone's-
order!
Jesus
They're
Christ!
going insane. Lana's remarks caused such a stir that chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled.
Christ.
The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
This is big.
Oh, fuck.
Lana! I wonder if that's been gnawing at her this whole time. Because otherwise,
I don't
why?
know, it seemed like she had accepted it for the most part.
Yeah. But what the fuck?
I'm going to assume what's going on.
Meanwhile, Emma's like, Dude!
I'm going to assume what's going on. What they're saying is that because the police department has been such a thorn in their side on getting things done, that she had to make some kind of piece of evidence happen that could get past the barriers they were getting from the police department, especially if the chief of police or chief of detectives, whoever the fuck Mr. What's-His-Face is now, if he's trying to stop all these verdicts, then of course she's going to have to do something to bypass that, like we have to all of a sudden. Because we can't call fucking What's-His-Face to the stand because the police has to officially indict him, and they can just be like, nah, chief, officially.
Yeah.
Nah, that ain't it, chief.
No.
Oh boy. February 24th, 3:12 p.m.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to do in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dart killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dart convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
Ouch. What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Dart's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dart tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. Wow.
So that means you...
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dart trial.
I didn't see that one coming.
You didn't read the report, Phoenix?
I know, I thought it was in there, but it was...
It is in there.
Like
Continuity.
200 IQ to 2 IQ, just like that, like a fucking rubber band.
He uses his brain all up in the courtroom, and then when he's out, it's just harder.
Jesus fucking Christ. Well, I guess next time we'll start investigating around to see what the fuck we can figure out.
She almost got killed, and then, oh god.
And then her sister used her. Ow.
Wow.